Okay, so we'd like to welcome you to Fabric Chicks Facebook Live today on October 2nd. Hard to believe it's already October. Before you know it, it's going to be Thanksgiving and Christmas. So make sure you get quick and easy projects that you can get done in time for Christmas. All right. So let's see. We're going to, we do have Virginia Robertson on today with us. She is a designer. She's one of the first quilt shops way back in the late 70s. So she's been around. She's seen everything transition so many times. She really knows everything there is to know about quilting and fabric designing and pattern making and pretty much anything to do with being creative. So I'm super excited that she's here. She's also going to be going with us to our retreat up in Tahoe in a couple of weeks. So I'm super excited about that. Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited to see so many of you. Hey, Mary Lou and Brenda and Carolyn and Lynn and Beverly and Suzette. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Okay, I think that we've got all of Virginia's devices working now. So, Virginia, just wave to me if you're ready for me to put you on the camera. Okay, hang on a second. Okay, so just so you guys know, I know you already know, but we are like fabric designers, crafters, and quilters. We are not really. Our main job was not being techies. We were not meant to be filming ourselves. So we're all doing the best that we can. One of these days, though, we're going to find somebody that's going to want to market us. Okay, hang on a second.
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
Let me. I'm gonna kill one of your mics so it doesn't. Okay. Virginia, say hello so I can see if I killed the right mic. Nope. Okay, wait. Hang on a second. Okay, now say hello.
Hello.
Okay, let's see if we have. Nope, we do have an echo.
An echo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to kill off the Dell?
Here,
yeah, or just turn off the volume on the desktop.
Yeah, he's going to turn the Dell off.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, girls, it's hard to practice this before we go live because everything seems to work perfect when we're just practicing. Hey, Rianne, it's good to see you. Okay, give us a second. Okay, is there still an echo?
Not here.
No, not here.
Okay.
Sounds pretty good here.
All right, girls, how's the volume coming through to you? Okay, Tina says she can hear both of us.
Oh, good.
Mary, I hope it lasts the whole time. Okay,
yes.
So I'd like to welcome Virginia Robertson here to do a trunk show and all kinds of fun, fabulous things. Virginia, do you want to tell us how you got into this industry?
Well, I got here today, like at 5 o'clock last night when we were talking on the phone. So I've been working all day to get ready. But I started out as a professor, and I taught art, college professor at 3 universities: Peninsula College, Washburn University, and ISU, Idaho State University. And then when I discovered quilting, that was it. I started out making art quilts. And, it's a long story, but I ended up becoming more of a commercial artist rather than I was going to be and a raku artist and a weaver. But I just got lost in quilting, and I continue to be lost. I've got painting down in that I really would like to get back to painting someday, but I have so much fabric to use. So I'm really enjoying it, and I've enjoyed the working with quilters. It's been a real safe place to be, and it's really been almost 40 years now. So we go back a long ways, and Today I'm doing an ad lib trunk show. I'm going to talk a little bit about the things that I'm going to the retreat at Tahoe, and just what I've been working on. Some of you may have been on my year-long Hollyhock Zoom, and you may have seen these quilts because I'm referring back to things that I have been busy since Zoom was over and doing new stuff. I am crazy about pumpkins, and we are in full color here in Colorado. And I have to get out the pumpkins, and I designed a new pumpkin pincushion yesterday that I'm really excited about. I'm going to have that pattern ready for Tahoe. I sent Beth some goodies also, but these are some of the quilts, like I said, for trunk show. This is a quilt that I did years ago for a magazine, and it was stacked pumpkins, and it was a table runner and a wall hanging, and that just kind of sets the mood for what I'm going to do next. I did these when I was working for fabrics, and we designed all of these really pretty fabrics in this, and they really got well for fall appliques.
So if they wanted to order the pattern for the stacked pumpkins, they can just type in S and stacked pumpkins and we'll get it to you. So if you want the pattern for what Virginia just showed you, you can just type in S and then stacked pumpkins and we'll get the pattern for you.
Okay. We're making this up as we go, guys. This is one of my old favorites. It's basically a variation of a Dresden plate. Here's the original Dresden plate table runner. Do them in every color, and they're super quick, but they're just really fast table runner. But for fall, I turned the Dresden plate into a sunflower. For Christmas, and I'll bring that to Tahoe, I turned same table runner into a wreath. So that would be, I don't know if Beth that one or not. That's the sunflower patch table runner pattern. And you can make it shorter, longer. So
if you need the sunflower pattern, just type in S sunflower and we'll get you that pattern.
Table runner, because I have a pin cushion too.
Okay, sunflower, S sunflower, table runner.
And this is the Horn of Plenty that I did for Bali Fabrics, and it's also tweaks. And that's the pattern for it. Horn of Plenty. You guys getting in the fold yet? We have the light holders. I sent this sample to Beth, a new one this morning, and I had cut a bunch of 2.5-inch strips to make my new pumpkins, and so I just took all those leftovers and made a new hot pad out of that. And Beth has this pattern there now, and it's the leaf hot pad, and it has mug rug. It has 3 different leaf designs. It's super quick and easy because I did this one this morning, like in about an hour and a half. It's just strip piecing. And pumpkin Beth has one that she would probably show. I'm bringing a kit with me, but there's the pattern, and it was a cute little hot pad also. But I am a pumpkin freak, and I have done these little gusseted pin cushions that you're all familiar with. You can see, and I've done a color wheel. I've done them in every imaginable color. And I decided to change and make a bigger pumpkin and make a bigger shape of these little gusseted. So last night, I started this yesterday afternoon, and I made these last night. These are all my new pumpkins, and notice the stems. the grocery store where they have those miniature pumpkins in the bins, and I look for on the bottom of the bin and get all the stems off of them. And all year I save stems off of peppers, like the Anaheim peppers, and it has a stem, I save it. But I'm really having fun making these newer, taller ones. You can see they're a shape. And I think before I publish my pattern, I'm going to do an even bigger. But these big stems are really fun to do. I'm going to move over to front of the table here, Lynn. Yeah, in front of the machine. I have a bunch of my old pumpkin pin cushions. Can you see these? There's one that I just ad-lib, but look at that stem. Isn't that fun? These are the wool ones, wool and flannel. That would be pumpkin pin cushions. When I make them with velour and velvet like this, you can see I get all kinds of different sizes here. Look at this little tiny guy. That's just a little twig from a tree. Anyway, those are the heirloom tomato pin cushions. And these are the wild and crazy pin cushions. They're basically the same pattern, made out of different fabric and using kukir and fell leaves and whatever. Here is an older one, and it's just a stem from a tree because I didn't have a pumpkin stem. This was before I started collecting stems. I have bags of stems and I save them all year. There's my current bag. And this one, I can't wait to use that one. But
Charity, yes, I love how you get stems. My mom thinks I'm crazy for saving stuff like that. Thanks for making me not feel alone.
These are from when you buy your tomatoes on the stem. Those make the little stems. Sometimes you need really delicate stems, like if you're doing the pumpkin on the chicken with the Spam can. See, those are little tiny stems there. And the crow, here's the crow. That is a tomato. That's a big tomato stem. His head. I always put the pin cushions on their head. I put the pins in there, but usually I put little tiny quilting needles in them because the quilting needles lost when you put them in the back of them. I tiny ones, and I think I showed this before. You know these little things that you can put your bobbins with your thread to match them up. I made a miniature pumpkin, and this is the last quilt I quilted was this color of thread, and there's the quilting needles for that, and that sits next to my table while I'm hand quilting. I do lots of hand quilting. Remember when I said watch out for the sunflower to do a table runner? I did a new pin cushion which started out in another quilt pattern, but it's a Dresden plate sunflower with dimensional leaves. These leaves are actually little green circles folded into dimensional leaves and then appliqued. And I just made a basket full of those. I have to make them into sunflowers. They can be asters as well. So I've got a basket full of those. And that would be the sunflower pin cushion. Beth, did I send you some wool needle cases too?
Yes, you did.
Okay, the wool needle cases, that's right along the line. I just love doing these. I use a lot of flannel mixed with my wool and a lot of buttons and a lot of beads. And then it has pell-on pages. And I have a different piece for each type of needle. Like one needle case will be for quilting needles, one will be for my doll needles, and it might be my craft needles for like applique. And those would be the wool needle case patterns. And I believe Beth has patterns.
Yes.
This is an old pattern It's Grandma's button jar, and it comes with the fusible stuff that you cover your button, your lid. But I love to old jars, old jelly jars, and put little pumpkins on the top. This was my well, it's really a wine. It's a wine glass stem, and put a pimento jar on top of it, and then I covered the pimento jar because the jar takes paint, and this way it's kind of an iron-on batik, and just covers the jar lid, and I make all kinds of jars with these are all little stacked pumpkins. So that was Grandma's button jar pattern. I've got all kinds of color wheel. I'm a pin cushion freak. Here's a tuffet pin cushion with it's done like the color wheel. I don't know if Beth has that or not.
Yep, we do. We do.
Okay. And then here is an older one. It's a big pin cushion with a color wheel, and that's applique on. And then it's got that measuring tape ribbon, and that's the Dresden plate pin cushion and quilt. It also has a quilt pattern in that pattern. So that's just a few of my pins until I did my little chair. Now this story, we're going to go over to see Aunt Cora. You remember Aunt Cora from the old days? Beth, do you remember the Aunt Cora?
I do. Yes. Yep.
All right. And Cora had her own chair, and I did. This was the big chair, but I did all chairs for Aunt Cora. And the littlest one, I've redesigned it. It was one that I did for the mohair bear. There's Aunt Cora. I'm going to go back, and I did a pin cushion.
I love Aunt Cora's tennis shoes.
Yeah, those are keychains. So here's I did twos. Here's the big one. Here's the little one. These chairs started out as the little subly tiny bear, these little bear chair, and the little old mohair bear. Little mohair bears have these little overstuffed chairs, the camelback chairs. And the cowboy guy, he has his polka dot chair. But these, I redesigned these, and I made the pattern simpler. And I'm going to just a brief how I make it. But it's really got a surprise, because here's one with some tatting in it. But you can lift the seat, and then you can put a thimble. I believe Beth, your thimble, does it have a thimble and thread and scissors?
Yep, it sure does.
I didn't put $100 bill in there, but pattern says to do is hide your $100 bills in there too. But it just gives you, and then I just use these cushion also as a pin cushion. So I'm making them out of the little 30s fabrics. Here's one out of a straight lure, an antique lace. I can't stop making them. Just another. I don't know. I have to make about 200 to get it out of my system. Here, this is easy to make. This is a super simplified demo. But I'm going to, if anybody listening is going to be there, I'm going to bring this so people could make them at the retreat if they want to. But here is the chair partially assembled. You can see it's kind of a T. It's got cardboard in the bottom front. And I stuff it, I get it stuffed, and then it's going to get hand stitched like this. And there's the chair when you put it together by hand. You can kind of see the stitches where I stitched it together by hand. And then you can add the little camelback cardboard front, or on the little chairs, I do little cardboard circles. That is, I'm really excited about that new pattern. We just published it and we've shipped it out. And that finishes up the pin cushions. You can see I'm still making And I just I've been teaching this in Farmington, and we had a blast. But this is the big red bag, and Beth has carried that a long time. Here is a new making new samples, fresh samples for my shops. There's a new one, a fun line of blue.
And I love the lime one behind you.
There's my lime green one. You know, lime green's the neutral. Yep. These bags are full of pockets. They've got pockets all the way around. And since we started using the foam, they up better. Really like making them with the foam now. I used to use muslin and interface and batting, iron-on batting. A spin-off bag of my Bali bags, and it's the zipper. It's a purse that zips shut, and again with the foam. And I have worn out 2 of these. I need to do the thing where they put the little metal on the bottom, but I wear them out. But I love it because it's really lightweight and it holds a lot of stuff. So there's one of those, and there's one made out of African fabrics. The zippered balls. Beth, do you have a sample of that one too?
Yes. Yep, I do.
Okay. Good. I'm also making fresh samples of some of my favorite patterns, and I kind of cave. I've been doing a lot of cave for 15 years now. And I have got tons and tons of cave scraps, and it's like, okay, been there, done that. It's kind of like batiks. I did batiks for 10 years when I worked for the batik company. But I'm sort of wanting something fresh and airy, and I like kind of the 30 look. I kind of what Riley Blake is doing, and some of those designers. So I just took, I love Moda's American Jane. Did an American Jane stacks. These are some of my older American Jane. I love her red, white, and blue collections. And I believe she's with Moda. And then I did a new stack of cups out of just kind of bright, happy pink and green. And then this is the focus print that kind of ties the color together with little cherry back. I just had so fun doing these. And of course it's fall. I had to do the short stack of cups with all the funny browns and golds. And I love this little plaid background here. I don't remember whose that is, but anyway, that was a fun one. And I made Bethan out of the Australian fabrics. I don't know. Have you shown that to them yet, Beth?
No, I haven't shown it. It just came today.
Okay, so you can show that when I sign off then. This is an older pattern that I was going to publish this, but it was so hard to make, I didn't publish it. But it's the 30s, and I love putting black and white with 30s. And Beth, if you show them that little scrappy wedding ring, the miniature wedding ring, it's done with these fabrics. And that quilt, that little wedding ring, is all made out of 2.5-inch strips. And so I don't know if Beth can show you that one.
Yep, I'm showing them right now.
Great. I'm going to do a mini demo on that in a minute, but I'm going to finish the trunk part here.
Okay.
I got this bug. I may need to send a new fabric design. I want to do the feed sack fabrics. I went into my study fabrics and I got to my feed sacks, and I found all these old pieces of fabric. And I only had, it looked like they were making something like some kind of a bow tie quilt or something with them. The funny loops kind of like this. You can see, oh no, that's doll's dress. Anyway, I had all these just little feed sack fabrics. There's my whole bag. That's what they're, I made this. The background and the border is new fabric. All the rest of these fabrics are actual feed sacks And it's a good thing that see how the pattern, I just barely had enough fabric to make little cups out of feed sack. And I just think I need to design of feed sack. There's something I'm experimenting too. I may do stack of cups and start mixing them with some pinwheels and things. This was an old pillowcase or something, but I just love it. It's just like fresh lawn line. So that is the studio part of the trunk show. We're going to go into the living room and I'm going to show you some scrap quilt. Oh wait, I got to do the demo. Still have the demo for the little wedding, and take this demo with me to Tahoe. Ooh, these pumpkins. Some of the fabrics in these pumpkins just ugly. And I just love using these weird fabrics. So much fun to put together. Here is how you do this. These are 2.5 strips, and I sewed both sides of them. And then I took the templates and cut out. They're already, when you part, you have your half of your arcs done. So then you add your, and instead of piecing the little center in this, you fuse it with Wonder Under and applicate the center onto that. Even the background is scrappy. It's a scrappy background, and it's done on a 2.5 inch strips put together and sewn on one side. And then when you open them up, you get this. It's easier to do if you see someone actually, but you can kind of get the idea. Make that whole quilt with 2.5 inch strips. So that is really a fun little project. And then I have other.
It's kind of like a cheater wedding ring.
It is.
Fast and easy.
So, yeah, it's really fun. When the gals are going to say when they see how easy this is. So anyway, that is my miniature wedding ring, and I forgot to show the pattern on it. Beth has the.
We do.
Okay,
is that the one that has the templates in it?
It comes with and without templates. You can make your own templates, but I have some available with the templates. So
okay, perfect.
There's options there. I like that because you can mark and cut all at once. Okay, we're going into the dining room.
Holy cow!
I've been busy. This is my design wall, and this has been on the wall for about 2 months. This is a challenge project that a friend of mine, Elaine, she's always challenging me, and she finds these freebie patterns on the internet, and she makes one, and then she says, "Okay, now you do one." Well, she hasn't seen this yet, but she and we're both old quilters. We are using up our scraps. We are too chintzy to just. I guys my scraps. We have about 6 boxes of my scraps. This just happens to be the purple and fuchsia box. And I used to have 3 of these boxes, and I'm down to 1 now because these are my favorite colors. And so the thing is, I use scraps. This was such a fun quilt. I wanted to make it a queen. So I ended up cutting in ash and making new scraps. But anyway, it's got all kinds of different fabrics, but it tends to be an analogous color scheme. So everything's like half of the color wheel there. And this is also scrappy white. It's all white on whites. And that high contrast is what creates those, it's kind of like an Irish chain type of a quilt. And it's a good quilt to use your scraps. And there's only 5 blocks in this. And I'm going to bring a sample. I'm going to bring this quilt with me also so Beth can see how it's done. But you can see there's 4 patches. There's these little guys, little log cavity guys. There's blocks with white in them. Just all kinds of different blocks, but there's 5 different. I just mixed it all up, and then it creates those paths. I always like Irish chain quilts. Something about them tickles me, and I can't wait for her to see it. I am going to add 6 inches all the way around, so it will go to the bottom of the mattress and be a real queen size, because this would look so cool in like an Irish modern bedroom, in a modern bedroom. So I don't know if Lynn you can show some of those. There's a lot of kafed there, but you see here's some Australian fabric. Here's a lot of my old fabrics here. That's one of my very first fabric line. There's some kafe. There's one of my old fabrics. There's kafe. Who knows what this is? Oh, just everything but the kitchen sink in here. There's more Australian fabric. So that is a real nice memory. And there's not a pattern for it, but I believe I think it's allpeoplequilt.com. I think it's one of those Better Homes and Gardens quilts. It's from a magazine and it's online. And I forgot today. Sorry. I'll tell Beth later. Then this, I'm going to challenge my friend I found this pattern at a local quilt store. It's called Pick, and I just loved it because it's have too much teal, and I wanted to get rid of them. I was going to put it in a yard sale because I just don't sew with teal that much, and I thought I'm going to challenge my friend, and we're going to do this for our challenge quilt. So this is called Picnic, and I love it because it looks woven. The pattern just had everything. It just went crazy. Just no rhyme or reason. I had to redesign it, and I wanted to have these orange ones going through, and then the blue and the teal going the other way. So it was a little challenging, but the blocks themselves were really easy to do. You can make this with fat cord, and all you do is cut 3-inch strips and 5 strips, and then you subcut from that. And I just use scraps. My scraps are less than 1/4 of a yard. So that's I'll show you. My scraps are kind of like this. It can be anything. So that I could get.
Oh my God, I can't believe you have these tiny little scraps folded so nicely.
Well, we did 9 years winters in Arizona, and I took these and they went under my sewing table in my trailer. We had a garage in the trailer. It was a toy hauler. And when you take the ATV out, it becomes an empty room. And that was my sewing room. And I all winter. And that's how I got lots of variety. Well, those fabrics became my next scrap quilt that I'm going to show you.
And can you just explain what an analogous color scheme is?
Analogous? That is when, I'm going to show the last one first, of course. That is when on the color wheel, they're all neighbors. If you, and I went halfway around the color wheel. You can't leave anybody out, and you'd have to use half of the colors on the color. If you're doing complementary, they're opposites. Like that's a complementary color scheme. The teal and the peach are opposites on the color wheel. This quilt was analogous. So yeah.
Okay.
This is a quilt called the Carpenter's Wheel, and it's a pattern. And I did about 4 classes in this. They are 2-day classes, and I made it out of just my scrap boxes. And this is a queen, and I don't know if you can get the idea because I don't have a person to help me here. But I did a and a warm rub on this quilt. And that way, the corner, when you put the block together, the corners are interesting too, like here. So I got opposite in the corners. So this is called Carpenter's Wheel. I'm going to show.
So just one second. So if anybody watching is interested in doing a class with Virginia on the carpenter's quilt that she just showed, and she will go over like the different colors and I mean, she has so much knowledge about the color wheel. It's incredible. But if you want to, just type in carpenter's wheel and then we'll get that scheduled.
Yeah, you could do this from home with demos.
Yeah.
If you want a super simple version of it out of back quarters, you can just reverse your fabrics. Here's one that I did this fabric and this fabric, and I reversed it with this, where I reversed where the fabrics are placed to make different blocks, say the same 3 fabrics. But my big quilt, I had scrappy because I didn't have enough fabric. I had to just use pieces. So I did mine with five different fabrics. So can you see the difference? This is quicker and easier. You can do it with fat quarters, but this is more fun and you can use your scraps. So that is this was really a fun quilt, and the quilt got out of control. I had so much piecing these carpenters. I made a big forward on my piecing doing this, and I learned a lot of new things, like that you can sew over the really fine clover pins when you have your adjoining seams, so that it doesn't move when you're trying to sew long lines together. As long as you don't go too fast. And I tend to pull those pins out just as I'm going over them, so they're just the tips of the pins. But I really got to where those little needle sharp corners were perfect. When I was designing batiks for Bali Fabrics, here are of my headers from fabrics that I designed them, and I took all my leftover headers and made a glowing ring out of nothing but 10-inch squares, and I king size version of this. This is easier to hold up. But you can see it's a glowing wedding ring, and it glows from light to dark. And so the wedding rings change as you look at them. And it's a real popular quilt, and it's real easy. My wedding rings are slightly flattened, so that this is actually a 4-patch, and arcs are exactly the same. So super quick, and you don't make mistakes doing the wedding ring like you do with the perfectly round wedding ring. So this is a quick one. I teach this a lot. So that's a scrap. Of course, I buy scraps too. I love black fabric, and I love black quilts. This is another Irish chain. It's Burgoyne surrounded. This is another queen, and this is actually on my bed now. And it's another type of an Irish chain. And it's out of an old Nancy Martin book, but I reversed the color values. And that's Trixie. She says, we sleep on this. Anyway, I left the background dark, and I made the light yellow, and then I added the red for a medium. So Burgoyne surrounded. I just love this quilt. It looks beautiful in the bedroom. In fact, I might post a picture of it and put it on my Facebook. Make up the bed, because it goes with my mom's Amish bed. Okay. Still use wraps. This was a challenge quilt for Elaine Brown again. And this one, I just love it. White. I love the white background, but it's scrappy white. And I just used the blues and the teals on that. And it's one of my favorite quilts. It's just a fun little couch throw. And it's a I don't know what the pattern is. It's just another Irish chain. Simple 9 patches. I like to do a lot of like dumb. I always like to have handwork and machine work to do. And so this kind of thing is just repetitive, but if you have over, you're going to a retreat or something, it's fun to have things that are easy to piece, that are just you can chat and not concentrate too much. The next thing I want to show you, you have seen these before with Beth in her shop and with my Hollyhock Zoom. But as an artist, Lynn, maybe you can share those two paintings in the kitchen. These are old paintings in my kitchen. These literally are from grad school or maybe grad school. But you can see they're kind of impressionistic and they're vases. I have always collected vases, and I just did a new pattern this year called Virginia's Vases. And I just roll that are this pattern. These are my vintage vases. I collected these back in the 70s when they were dirt cheap. They were like yard sale things. Now they're really collectible. But I take images and I love to applicate them. So I'm going to show you how I use my vase imagery. Here's the pattern for Virginia's vases. And I just sent Beth a sample, which I'm hoping to show you later. It's a sample using that fresh 30s looking fabric, and it's all hand applique. And there's also a small wall hanging that I sent her also. These vases have appeared forever. I have done them with wool and felt. Here's a couple of my vase improv. There's a teapot and a plate. Here is that yellow vase showed you. There's that guy. And here's one. The old kimono back in batik and wool and cute little thing. It goes with this. It's on my wall, but I wanted you to see it. Again, I back my flannel with Wonder Under fusible web, and that way unravel, and I just use the flannel and mix it in with the wool. And I love the flannel because you get plaids and twills and different designs. There is an applique version of the wool. Let's see, where's the one?
Barbara likes the way you frame your vase quilts.
Yeah, those are fun. Yeah. Anyway, when I did the Hollyhock house, some of my vases showed up in the Hollyhock. Here's the original Hollyhock quilt that was in Beth's shop for about a year. Here's the white one. See the vases? Here's one here. And a lot of my flowers are in here also. Okay. Hang on. I'm gonna get the new one. This was the that I did in the Zoom, the periwinkle one. And there's the vases again. Okay. So when I do some of my improv, I want to do a vase, and then I go ahead and I find some other blocks. So this was some leftover blocks from other projects, and there's that green vase right here. The green vase, and that vase, he pops up everywhere. So this is an improv quilt with some, and the other blocks are leftovers from different quilt projects, and I didn't use those blocks, so I gathered and made a wall hanging, an improv wall hanging. Here is one that was fun because a friend gave me her leftovers fabrics that I don't usually. This can get me started back on the 30s. My friend gave me this block. She gave me a big Dresden plate. She gave me these and these applique blocks, and she said to use them in her quilt. So mixed them bases, blocks, and it was a where we worked to get a quilt together. I just took her blocks and made off quilt with it. And Beth's going to show you the other improv quilt that I sent her, plus one of the little applique vases. I do it by hand, with wool, by machine, any way you want. And that's what I'm going to show you. I'm making an improv quilt with my silk kimono fabric, silks. I have always, you can see what I'm going to do now to make another one of these quilts. So this one is in progress. And Beth, this is what you're going to be. What I'm bringing is these vintage kimonos. Here's an old rayon kimono. And I collected all of these over the years. And because a fabric designer, I just look at all kinds of fabric. But I'm a lot of my study fabric. So Beth's going to be putting a lot of these kimono samples and selling them. And like I said, I'm cutting that up. I have some pin cushions too. I've got tons of these though, and I need to get rid of them. So Beth, that's what we're talking about. What do you think?
Those are going to be absolutely gorgeous.
And you see them in I've got some indigo. I love fabrics. So that is what I've been doing since Hollywood Zoom. I have been having a lot of fun, and it's not always about designing new fabrics, new patterns. It's just sometimes just new stuff. I've always saved my best stuff for later, and this is later. So this is my best stuff now.
Perfect. Okay, so do you guys have any questions for Virginia? Virginia is going to our retreat. She's going to be there. She's going to bring tables full of stuff for you guys to go through, and we're going to have a ton of fun. If you know that there's a project you want to work on, let me know to make sure we bring the supplies and the patterns and all the stuff for it.
Right, and let me know. Yeah, because I'm just going to be hanging and helping people be creative and problem solve. And if you want to start one of my projects, I'm right there for you. It'll be perfect to get started.
Perfect. Victor says he needs to move closer. They loved it. They said you do beautiful work. They can't believe how tidy your studio is. They can't wait to meet you. Gosh, so many comments. I can't go back to them all. Okay, let's see. Any questions? Hey, Heidi, how are you? Heidi says, wow, you are amazing, Virginia.
I hope I meet some of these people. I know so many of you guys from Facebook, and it'll be really fun to meet you because I'll be there in 2 weeks. In Garland for 1 day, and then Tahoe for a week. So
yeah, it's hard to believe the retreat is only in 2 weeks. But we have one room left if anybody wants to sign up. Virginia will be there the whole time. Pretty much the whole time. We're not sticking her to any kind of schedule. But we do have one space left. It's October 13th through the 18th. And it includes all of your lodging and meals. And, what more could you want than to hang out with me in Virginia? I'm just saying.
I'm going to be doing demos. I'll demo every day. I'm going to demo. I'm going to do the 2.5-inch wedding ring, scrappy wedding ring demo. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do for my third day. It kind of depends on the crowd what we're going to do, but I'm planning on at least 3 demos and maybe more. I'm probably going to bring pumpkins for people to stuff too.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna does it have anything else you want to say, Virginia? Or does anybody have any other questions? This is your chance.
And
I think that's it. Okay, I'm gonna switch the screen over so I can show them the rest of your quilts that you just sent me. And then we're gonna wrap this up because I have to go pack my RV for my sister's wedding. I leave the first thing in the morning and I haven't started packing.
Okay,
oh,
so
a couple of them said definitely bring pumpkins.
Oh, okay, lots of pumpkins.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Virginia. I'm super excited to see you.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to show you guys real quick. Here is one of the bases using the K fabrics. I'm kind of, I know it's hard. I'm filming myself, but look at that. And it's hand applique, needle turned, but you can always use any kind of applique by machine. But it's, I mean, this is a fun project. It makes a great gift, and you literally can use your scraps. You know, I'm a big pusher of using your scraps. This one I love because it's kind of like it gives your orphan blocks. We all have orphan blocks that we made and they didn't go into a project. This gives you a way to incorporate them into other projects. And she blinked it up with buttons. So look, I'm going to try to find it where there's some actual buttons. Here, I just saw them. So look at this K fabric here. You probably all have this fabric, but then there's a button right in the middle of it. So you can add dimensional things to it. I'm going to step back because it's a pretty big one. It's harder to film yourself than it looks. I hope you saw that. And then here is and really, if I just hooked up another device, the girls could come in and hook it up, film. Here is the coffee mugs done out of the Australian fabrics. So it gives it a totally different look than the other sample we have. And I will show you again next Monday after I get back from the wedding, but before the retreat, I will show you both versions of the coffee cups. And then here is the black and whites 30s. So you just get such different looks. But this, for those of you guys coming to the retreat, this one would be a fun one. You can bring your 2.5-inch jelly rolls, or if you have some, you can make it totally scrappy. You just need 2.5-inch strips. Oh my gosh. You guys are placing orders now. Okay, hang on a second. I'm writing it down so I don't have to go back and watch. And then I'll get those filled maybe next week. I'm not making any promises at this point. Here's one out of Batiks. Yeah, I was like, maybe that's Australian fabrics there, but no, it's a polka dot batik. So really and truly, you guys, you know me, I think that we have to kind of keep quilting affordable so we can afford to live. So scrappy quilts are very, I actually love scrappy quilt, the look of scrappy quilts. And then here's one out of chocolate browns. It's absolutely beautiful. Okay, so that's all we have. Virginia, do you have anything else you want to say?
No, you do better than I do.
I don't think so. I'm just used to it because I do this twice a week. All right, so girls and gentlemen, do you have anything else you want to ask us before we end this? I know we're ending it a little bit early, and I know that's so unusual for us. But I have to go clean out the necessity areas of the RV before we get ready to take it up to the mountains. So I'd rather do that in the light than in the dark. All right. Thank you again, Virginia, so much for doing that presentation. The ladies loved it. And I'm excited to see you in a couple of weeks. And thank you to all of you who joined us. We really, really appreciate you taking time out of your afternoon to join us. All right, have a great night. Go get some sewing done. Thank you. I hope to enjoy the wedding a lot. I hope it doesn't drive me crazy. All right, see you guys later. Thanks. Bye. Bye.